Welcome to the National Christian Homeschool Championships Girls 16 and Under selection show for the Nationals in Springfield, Missouri, March 11th through 15th. This is going to be a field of 16, and this is Rob Flatt, and I'm here with Jeremy Caldwell, and we're going to get going right away and start this selection show. Jeremy? These 16 teams from 8 different states, including Hawaii. Why don't you go ahead and just give us a quick breakdown on this?
Yeah, so a quick breakdown here. You're going to have 3 regional winners that are attending here. The CHSM Knights out of Houston, Texas, they won the Big South. The West Michigan Hornets out of the Midwest, and the Oklahoma Flame out of the Heartland. So that's your 3 regional winners. As you can see, they're listed over there, the 1 through 4 seeds. And it's going to be interesting field as there's only 16. So, but of the 16, 8 states are represented, like you said. So that's a good field there, and interesting to see how this one plays out, and seeing if Fort Bend can reclaim their undisputed championship from last year, as they had a 1-point game in the undisputed game last year over the Austin Royals. So a very close game, and they're coming for the repeat.
I remember that game last year. It was quite a game, and I think that the fact that you had a pair of Texas teams there made it very interesting. And I think that this is going to be one of those age groups where we're going to have more great competition, even if there's some new challengers that are coming up. Before we get too far into this, let's just break down a note with the Team USA's. The Team USA cannot eliminate a team from a trophy contention, and that includes gold, silver, or bronze balls, as well as copper or iron trophies. They cannot eliminate a team from the top bracket they're placed in. So this means essentially that in the opening game or opening couple games, potentially to even few games, at an NCHC event, Team USA's are going to move left in the brackets, and we won't bother covering the pools the way that works, because we don't have any pools in this age group. So right off the bat, we talked about some regional champions, 3 regional champions. And right off the bat, we've got some tough looking gold ball classes, and we only have a couple teams in them.
Right. Yeah, you have the Fort Bend Eagles that we talked about, the reigning undisputed champions, as they're coming in as a 2 seed in the 7A. But the CHSM Lady Knights out of Houston, they've won districts, and they played Fort Bend in that championship game, I believe. They also played Fort Bend in the championship game at regionals. The CHSM Lady Knights have had a very terrific season this year in 16U. And a lot of their girls dual roster. They play 18U, 16U. Some of them play 16 and 14. So they have a lot of experience on that team. And they're going to be tough to beat, but it's going to be a tough field. So it's not going to be a walk in the park for them by no means. And then, West Michigan being a region champion as well. So it's going to be a good field. And, your top 2 seeds here, you see who you're going to have to battle through, but that's not the only ones in the brackets. There's 6 more teams in each one that you're going to have to fill out.
Yes, absolutely. And, I think one of the things that you run into in these type of situations is you get a chance to sometimes get a chance to maybe see something that you wouldn't have otherwise seen. And I think that when I look at this, you see West Michigan, CHSM, that's 2 of the top teams in the nation in the varsity girls.
Right.
And so when you see that caliber going on at 16U, but also or 18U, but also the 16U, that's phenomenal. And I know last year that Fort Bend 18U girls, they were right there. They advanced out of their pool into the Elite 8 of the national championships. And so this is a great list. Oklahoma Flame, a first-year program, so it's great to see that this is good. I'm excited to see kind of that next step that we take. But let's do a little bit of talking about how the format's going to work now that you've seen 8A and 7A. The first thing I want to point out is there's 2 Division I gold and silver balls and 1 bronze ball winner. There's no reseeds at all at nationals this year, including the girls 16 and under age group. All advancements will be posted in the brackets before the events start. Tuesday, we will open up with 8 Division Gold Ball Class quarterfinal games. All 16 teams will open up at Nationals in one of 2 Gold Ball classes, either 8A or 7A. The 8 Tuesday winners will advance to Wednesday's Division I Gold Ball semifinals, and the 8 teams that lose Monday will move to an 8-team copper bracket that will begin Wednesday. Wednesday's Division I Gold Ball Class semifinals and copper bracket quarterfinals will begin. And the 4 teams that lose in the Division I Gold Ball semifinals will move to the Division I Bronze Ball bracket that will be played out 1st through 4th, Thursday and Friday. The 4 teams that win their copper quarterfinal game will advance to Thursday's copper bracket semifinal game, and the 4 teams that lose the copper bracket quarterfinals will move to the copper bracket consolation, where they'll play 5th through 8th, Thursday and Friday. Now that we've covered that, we will have one more slide to cover format and schedule, but Jeremy, take it away. We got more interesting items to cover.
Yeah, we've seen the 1s and 2 seeds a while ago. Now you're going to see the 3s and 4s. You got a Big South, a Midwest, 2 Heartlands. So once again, some flavor coming in there. And of these top 4 seeds, you got 3 Big South teams, 3 Heartlands, 2 Midwest. So it's going to be the battle of the regions once again. And we don't see any Southeast teams here yet, but
no Southeast Girl 16. We try to get that off the ground, but we were unsuccessful.
So if you know any teams around the Southeast region area, let's get them to the Southeast region so we can get a 16U division there next year. And
yeah, absolutely. It's always great to have our regionals grow. This year, the Heartland reached 103 teams crossing the 100-team mark for the first time. The North Texas district crossed the 100-team mark for the first time. So it's been phenomenal to see this year. The NCHBC has 5 basketball events that are 100 teams, plus our volleyball nationals that has 143 teams last year in Lawrence, Kansas, and we'll be back there in October. So 6 100-team events for the National Christian Homeschool Championships. It's thrilling, and none bigger than this week, 1 week away from today, the National Christian Homeschool Basketball Championships in Springfield, Missouri. And let's just talk about this here. 8A and 7A are starting to round out quite a bit. And now we're starting to see how challenging this is going to be for some of these teams in their road to a gold ball.
Yeah, and one quick note here, we try to do our best to avoid teams from the same region being in the same classes, but in this instance, being only a 16-team format and 3 regions that we're dealing with, you are going to see some teams from the same regions in the same classes, but we've tried our best to make sure that they are not a first round, possibly second round matchup. And if you do see another team from your region, hopefully you won't see that team until it's for the 3rd game, which you're going to be playing for a gold ball on what we all love to call on Wednesday, it's Gold Ball Wednesday. So if you look at the bracket and you see you're on a gold ball, that means you're probably playing on a showcase court. And you might be lucky enough to have me call your game. Old country boy self.
Well, that's right. We'll actually get to this next part here that wraps up the Thursday and Friday format, and we'll actually talk about what games will be what may be covered. The Thursday Division I Gold Ball games will take place on Thursday. The 2 teams that lose in the Division I Gold Ball games will have earned a silver ball and move to the silver ball showdowns against each other on Friday. The copper bracket semifinal winners will advance to the copper bracket championship game, while the 2 teams that lose will move to the copper bracket 3rd place. Friday, the Division I Gold Ball Showdown Series is played. All teams will play on Friday, whether it's a 7th place game, 8th place game, or for the undisputed national championship. And as mentioned, we will not be doing any sort of reseed, which makes it really simple because you'll know your bracket schedule, or you'll know exactly what's happening before you even come into nationals. One thing I do want to check on, Jeremy, you mentioned the nationals broadcast, and one of the reasons I switched over is because that last slide, oftentimes when we've been doing these, has indicated which games you can expect that to be. And while we
Right.
do not mention it here, I can tell you I have confirmed that on Drury we will have, which is on Friday, we will at Drury, it's our only live stream court. We will have the girls 16 and under undisputed national championship game. So for the teams that make it to that last game on Friday, you will be covered on a live stream broadcast. So with no further delay, we will have the entire gold ball class release. And I'll take a quick look at this. And right off the bat, the Oahu Kraken versus the Springfield Lighthouse Chargers. That will be an opening round game. I love that. We get the host of nationals as far as the city and location against the team traveling the furthest this year in the Kraken. And I'm looking forward to that in the Class 7A quarterfinals. And I also think that there are several other matchups. Jeremy, can you point out one that catches your eye?
Yeah, the Indy Wildcats MHEA Eagles game over there in Class 8A. That's going to be you know, both of those girls teams last year, I believe, made at least the Elite Eight, and so now their 16Us here are battling to try to make the Elite Eight. If they win their first game, they're going to be in the Elite Eight and 16U. So it's good to see that the younger groups are following the footsteps of the older girls and trying to carry on that legacy of trying to get to, you know, the eventual 18U D1 undisputed national champion. So, you know, you got to start somewhere, and a lot of these teams, if you notice, you know, you can see going through all of these different age groups, most of the teams that stay at the top in D1 of the 18U teams, if you look back, a lot of these have feeder teams that feed them, and they have a nice size program that just keep feeding those 18Us, and that's how they stay up top. Is, you know, they run the same system. So it's good to see younger age groups following those bigger teams and coming in. So
yeah. Absolutely. Building a program is more than just building a team. And when you build a program, you have the ability to create like a feeder system, like what you were mentioning. And I think that's phenomenal. And some of these teams here, you mentioned the Indianapolis Wildcats this year. That was their varsity girls team. That was the team that played their varsity girls schedule. And so you're always going to run into that in the girls in the 16U age group. That's always possible. We're really thrilled that Nationals is just a week away. We cannot wait to have everyone come to Springfield March 11th through 15th. But obviously, before you show up, you're going to need brackets. And the great news is those will be released on Friday, March 8th. Of course, if we can get them released earlier, we will. But that's our absolute deadline. Opening game times have already been released for each age group. If you missed that, make sure to go to our website, nchclive.com, or to facebook.com/homeschool basketball, Instagram.com/homeschool nationals, or Twitter X at with /NCHBC live. We look forward to having everyone show up and have some great games. And Jeremy is looking forward to hopefully being able to call the fantastic finals last year. That 1-point game was one to remember. I think I remember a couple years or several years ago at Missouri State, MHEA hit a buzzer beater to win an undisputed title in one of those big games there. And so it's always fantastic when you get those teams at the finals, and the best of the best are playing for all the marbles, as they say. So we look forward to seeing you in Springfield.
Till then, we'll see you next week.
Thanks.